The Toxic Avenger from 2025, although it was made in 23. From what I understand, the producers couldn't find a distributor for like a couple of years or something. So it got released in 25. But it was made in 22, 23, I believe. Yeah, so anyway, it's the remake of the Toxic Avenger that was originally made in 1985, directed by Lloyd Kaufman. That movie, I grew up watching. It was one of those movies that would come on late at night on one of those obscure basic channels. I believe like Joe Bob Briggs from Monster Vision reviewed it a couple times. It was one of those like goofy. I don't want to say horror movies because it wasn't really a horror movie, but it was a grotesque superhero movie. Is the best way I can describe it. Just over the top gore and action. But that's Lloyd Kaufman's style. That's really his trademark, so to speak. Is just doing over the top stuff like that. Toxic Avenger, of course, was his most famous movie. Um, he also made a couple of sequels to it, which I also grew up watching, part two and three, which were also crazy and over the top. But the first one, obviously, is the best. Anyway, I'm not watching those original movies now. I'm watching the remake of the Toxic Avenger, which I have never seen before. I've heard things about it. I think it got mixed reviews. But it looks. I've seen the trailer. It looks different, which is good. I don't want to see a something similar as the first one. I want to see like a new take on it. And from what I understand, this one has like an actor who's a dwarf, if that's the correct terminology to use, politically correct terminology. Basically, a little person playing the Toxic Avenger, and I guess also Melvin too. I wonder. I think he's playing both, right? He's playing. Wait, what's his name? Let me see. Yeah, I got the DVD right here. I bought the DVD because I wanted to see the unrated version of this movie. On streaming, they have the rated R version, which it's like, come on, man. I want to see like the full movie. I want to see the deleted scenes. All of it. I don't want to see something that's cut up. So I wanted to get the unrated version just so I could see the deleted scenes. Anyway, Peter Dinklage, I guess that's the guy who plays the Toxic Avenger, and Melvin. Um, yeah. So yeah, I guess he plays both, right? Because in the original Toxic Avenger, there were two different actors. One who played Melvin and another actor who played the Toxic Avenger. They weren't played by the same person, obviously, because the Melvin actor was like this puny, skinny, weakling kind of guy, and then the Toxic Avenger had a little more muscle tone, not much more, but he was definitely taller and a little bit heftier than the Melvin actor. So yeah, there were those. They were definitely two different actors, but in this movie, the remake, I believe Peter Dinklage is playing both Melvin and Toxic Avenger. Also, you got Elijah Wood and Kevin Bacon. Oh wow, Kevin Bacon in a Toxic Avenger movie. Oh my gosh, I gotta see that. So yeah, this looks interesting. I'm interested. I'm sure it's gonna have the same kind of over the top gore as the originals, but in a modern sort of way, modern visuals. I'm guessing there'll be CGI, which yeah, I'm not a big fan of CGI, but yeah, in a move for a movie like this, I'll take it just to see how over the top they make it. Um, Yeah, let me get started with this. Now, if you don't know, the way I review movies is I watch them in like 25 or 30-minute increments, and then I stop it and then review what I saw so far, and then I start it again and play like another 25 or 30 minutes, and then I stop and review, so on and so forth. So if you're interested in that, let's go on this journey. Toxic Avenger, the remake. All right, I think I'm about 25 minutes into the movie. Since I'm watching it on DVD, I can't really see the time track. so I don't know exactly how much into the movie I am. Based on what I see from the clock, it's probably 25 minutes into the movie. Um, wow. What do I say so far? This Toxic Avenger remake so far, totally different than the first movie. The first movie was centered around like a health club or a gym, and Melvin was just some like really goofball kind of guy, a janitor. Uh, and the acting in the first movie, in the original movie, was just crazy. All the characters were like overacting and over the top. This movie, the remake, feels more like a movie. Yeah, I mean the Kevin Bacon character, the greedy billionaire or millionaire, I don't know what he is, but he's a rich guy, a corporate greedy guy, who basically owns a chemical company that's dumping toxic waste. Um, and I think Melvin is a janitor at the company. Yeah, or sorry, he's not called Melvin. The main character is named Winston, but he's still a janitor, but he's not named Melvin. He's Winston in this, and he's a widower. He's like a father of a teenager. So yeah, like all of that is totally different than the original movie. In the original movie, Melvin was not a father. He never probably had a girlfriend or anything. But this guy, Winston, yeah, he had a wife. I guess she died, and now he's just raising his son as a single father. So yeah, big difference. And he doesn't act as much like a goofball. I mean, he's still kind of shy and doesn't want to get in anyone else's business. You know, he kind of like you know tries to stay out of people's problems. Um, so there's that. But yeah, he's not nearly as like awkward as the Melvin character in the original. He's just like kind of like keeps to himself and tries to take care of his son. Um, so far, like the plot seems to be okay. Winston has a terminal illness, and his insurance isn't covering it. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. Um, the Kevin Bacon character, I think his name's Bob. Uh, in the very beginning of the movie, I think his henchmen were going after a reporter who was about to like leak information about what his company was doing. The chemical company is you know like I said polluting the environment. I think they're also creating products that are unhealthy for people too. Um, so I think the reporter was going to leak that stuff, but the henchmen, you know, took him out. But there was one woman who escaped with information, I think so, and now the henchmen are after her, but they haven't gotten her. So I'm guessing she's gonna find Toxie, and they're gonna you know work together maybe. But yes, you know, so far it's okay. I mean, there's nothing really too special yet. I haven't gotten to the transformation part yet. I'm thinking that's coming up soon. I'm looking forward to seeing how that all goes down. And I'm guessing once he becomes Toxie, then he's going to start like you know taking care of the bad guys instead of staying away from them. All right, I'm gonna get back to the movie. I'll see what happens. All right, I'm 50 minutes into the Toxic Avenger. Wow. Lots happened. So Winston went to Kevin Bacon. Oh yeah, first of all, Winston was wearing a tutu while practicing his dance moves at home. You know, I guess he was a dancer or for some reason liked to dance, and he decided to put on a tutu while he was dancing. Yeah, there's a callback to the original. Um, so then he leaves the apartment while wearing the tutu. You know, coincidentally, uh, you know, walking down the street with a tutu, and then he goes to see Kevin Bacon, who's at a party, or Bob, that's his character name. He goes to see Bob at a party and tries to ask him, like, "Hey, can you help me out with my insurance because they're not covering my terminal illness?" And then Bob pretends to be helpful. It's like, "Oh yeah, sure, my assistant will take care of everything." And then the assistant you know, acts like, oh yeah, she's gonna help him, and then she just really escorts him out the back door. that locks. So Winston can't get back inside. So basically, they didn't want to help him. Uh, so then Winston tries to break in to the chemical company and steal money, which he does. But then this the gang. I can't remember the nasty lads. I think the gang is the gang that's operated by Bob's brother Fritz, I believe. Yeah, they're like a bunch of punks, with like makeup on their face and everything. Uh, yeah, they go after Winston and the other woman. I don't know. I forget the other woman's name. I don't know if they mentioned it. Basically, that other woman from the beginning of the movie is back. She tried to steal a sample of the toxic waste, I believe, at the same time Winston was, escaping with the money, and then Winston got caught by the nasty lads, and they threw him into a pool of toxic waste, and then that's how he becomes the Toxic Avenger. Uh, and so, yeah, his son is scared of him because he doesn't recognize his father, because obviously he looks way different. And the makeup job on the Toxic Avenger was pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, I really like the makeup. And then the mop is glowing because of the toxic waste. Oh yeah, and Kevin Bacon's character Bob, he seems to be indebted to a mobster named Thad. So this Thad guy, I guess, funded Bob's business, Bob's chemical plant. So maybe Bob isn't as rich as I thought he was, because the mobster seems to be the one who has all the power, uh, and Bob seems to be scared of the mobster. Anyway, uh, it got to the point where so people are scared of the Toxic Avenger because he looks like a monster, obviously, until they get to the burger joint. Now, this movie did recreate the burger joint scene from the beginning of the movie, a little bit faster paced in this one. Not as grotesque. Oh well, I mean it's grotesque. This is the unrated version. They did show a lot of guts and everything. But anyway, so what happens is this burger joint called Miss Meat is being robbed by these thugs, and Toxic Avenger goes in there and pulls out their intestines and does all this like gory stuff to them. Oh yeah, he uses the mop and swipes the guy's jaw off, and his like tongue's hanging out. Yeah, it's like a lot of so yeah, there's a lot of gore. It looks like CGI gore, just like I thought it was. Uh, and Yeah, so pretty gory stuff. But it's what I expected. Uh, and now Toxic Avenger left as a hero. People are cheering him on. They realize he's a good guy, not a bad guy. And then Bob saw the news report about it on television, and now Bob realizes that the monster is the janitor that went to see him at the party. So now he wants to try to recover the monster so he can like make a serum that turns people into also superhero type, super strong people, superhero with super heroic powers like the Toxic Avenger. Basically, what he wants to do, he wants to recreate the mutation so that he can, I guess, sell it. Maybe sell the serum that turns people into like superheroes or with superpowers. But he needs to get the Toxic Avenger in order to create that serum. So they're going to try to get him back now, try to recover him somehow, which I guess that'll be a big showdown. Uh, yeah, because I guess what's going to happen is Bob wants, he needs to raise money to pay back the mobster or to get out from under his debt. So maybe he's going to try to, sell this serum to make his own money so he doesn't have to borrow from the mobster anymore. I guess that's what's going on. Yeah, so it's a bit different. It's a bit the plot's certainly different, even though they recreated the burger joint scene. Uh, yeah. What else? Oh, so yeah, about 50 minutes in. We'll see how this all plays out. Be very curious. All right. All right, I'm 30 more minutes into the movie. I don't know exactly how long in total I've been watching because, I'm on the DVD and there's no time track. But I'm guessing pretty close to the end, maybe an hour and 20 minutes in. So that's my estimate. Um, wow. It's got the gore and the action have certainly picked up. And, oh man, like I'm at the climax right now, it looks like, and it's incredible. But let me back up a second. So we learn that the woman's name is JJ. Her parents or her mother was, used to buy products from the chemical company, like health products, I guess, and those products ended up making her sick, and then she died. So that's her motivation to want to get back at the company and expose them. She met up with Winston's son, I guess stepson technically, but she met up with him and told him what was going on. So now the son knows that Winston is the Toxic Avenger. Bob's gang or Fritz gang well, is actually called the Killer Nuts. I thought it was the Nasty Lads. No, the Nasty Lads was the name of the gang. Excuse me. The Nasty Lads was the name of the gang that robbed the burger joint. Uh, so yeah, that's not Fritz's gang. Fritz's gang is the Killer Nuts. The Killer Nuts are also a rock band, apparently. you know, they're a rock band, and then they moonlight as assassins for the corporation. I'm guessing that's what it is. That's what it appears to be. Uh, so yeah, so Toxie goes after the Killer Nuts, kills them at the rock band. Bob had Toxie's son kidnapped, and now he's holding him hostage in a barn. Uh, and now Toxie's motivated to go rescue him, so he goes to Bob's mansion. But Bob has a trap waiting for him. They like knock out gas or something, knocks out Toxie and JJ. Uh, and so yeah, they have Toxie chained up with like triple solid titanium or something. Yeah, so something where it was too much for him to break out with his super strength. So now they stole, I guess, his blood or his mojo, so to speak, and now Kevin Bacon, Bob, drank the Toxie Mojo right when he was being confronted by Thad, the mobster. So now Bob turned into like a monster himself with like horns and everything. He killed the mobster and the mobster's henchman. He looks like a real monster. He's got like devil horns. Yeah, and Bob's female assistant, she drank some of it too, so now she looks like kind of like a witch. It's just so it's gotten so out of hand now, and I love it. You got all these like new monsters, these villains who are on the Toxie juice, uh, and yeah, Toxie peed on the restraints, and that's how he freed himself because his pee is, I guess, acid. So he freed himself from the restraints, and now he's fighting uh, Bob the monster. I think Bob had a shovel or something or an axe, and he's Toxie's using his mop to fight the his weapon. So it's like a mop versus an axe or something. It's so bizarre. Like I'm just it got like as soon as Toxie ended up at the mansion, it got so bizarre, but in a good way. It's entertaining, really entertaining now. This whole duel between Toxie and Bob, Monster Bob, I should say. And now JJ's fighting the female monster as well. So we'll see what happens there. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the barn that the son was in blew up. One of those henchmen shot like a oxygen tank or something, and it blew up the barn. So I guess the son is dead now. I don't know. It just, I mean, I guess that they would have a depressing moment like that in this movie. I just feel like he's gonna pop up at the end or something. Like make a, they're trying to make us think he's dead, and then he'll pop up. I don't know. Probably not. Maybe he really is dead. But we'll see. But anyway, yeah, it's picking up. I will say this: there's not as much gore and action as in the original movies, from what I can remember. but there's enough, especially now it's really picking up. And they have like villain monsters in this movie, which they didn't have at least in the first movie, in the original first movie. In I don't know if they had it in the second movie either. I remember in the third movie, Toxic Avenger Part 3, there was like a villain monster in that, if I can remember correctly. Yeah, I believe there was. He was like a wizard or something. But the second movie, I don't believe there was. I remember the second movie, he goes to Japan, right? And like meets his father, who's Japanese. I don't know. Uh, the third movie, yeah, I believe the third movie there was a monster, but definitely not in the first movie. So it's interesting how they have two monsters in this movie. Uh, it actually reminds me of the Swamp Thing. If you guys remember that movie, the original Swamp Thing, because you know at the end of the movie or near the end of the movie, the villain in that drinks a serum that turns him into a monster, and then that monster fights Swamp Thing. They have this big duel in the swamp. This kind of reminded me of that, right? Where the villain turns himself into a monster and then he fights the hero monster. It's very similar to Swamp Thing. That's what I'm drawing from this. Very similar to Swamp Thing. Uh, but yeah, but I'm entertained. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I just want to see what happens. Right now, they're still fighting the monsters, and I believe there's probably 20 minutes of this movie left. So by the time I talk to you again, I should be finished. All right. See you on the other side. All right. I finished the Toxic Avenger remake. Oh my gosh. So over the top. I love it. Okay, so from what it looked like, Fritz saved the son. Like he apparently snuck into the barn through an underground layer or underground passageway and got the son out of the barn before it exploded. So the son's okay. And Toxie kills the monster Bob by slamming his head, I guess, into the engine bay of the vehicle, and then JJ turns on the ignition, and then Bob's head gets grinded in the gears, I guess. So yeah, that was pretty intense. And yeah, then the female monster. I didn't really catch how she died. There was like an explosion or something, and then because it like immediately cuts to a hospital room where Toxie's in a gown in a hospital bed. It was like so abrupt. There was an explosion, and then it's like immediately right in the hospital. So I guess the monster blew up. The female monster blew up. Um, but yeah, now Toxie is a big hero. Oh yeah, I saw a cameo by Lloyd Kaufman, the original director of the Toxic Avenger. Yeah, he had a brief cameo in it. That was cool to see. So yeah, JJ's happy. Toxie hugs his son. Um, and yeah, it's all good. And yeah, there's the homeless guy in the woods. I guess is making eggs from like a mutant bird, frying them up. Yeah, and then it's the end. Uh, yeah. Overall, I like the movie. Um, it's hard to say if it was better or worse than the first, the original Toxic Avenger. It's just different. It's different. But I enjoyed myself. Would I want to see it again? Probably not for a while. It's not one of those movies I would want to keep watching all the time. Um, but yeah, I'm glad I watched it. It's okay. If you're a fan of the first movie, you'll appreciate this movie. It's different, but it does capture a lot of the same gore themes and stuff like that. I did like the whole monster battle. That was a different. That was actually a good idea to do it like Swamp Thing. Uh, I enjoyed that. I'm wondering if they're going to make a sequel to this and like a remake sequel. Probably not. I don't know. I mean, it took them long enough just to get this film distributed, right? 2 years just to get it out there. So I'm wondering if they're even going to bother doing a sequel. Um, if they did, I would watch it. Um, yeah. So yeah, overall, I'm happy with the movie. Not the best movie, but it was okay. It was okay. It's a good time. It's not a movie you want to keep watching again and again, but it's a movie that you'll be happy if you see it. It's a good time. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. If I have to give it a star review, 3.5 out of 5 stars. That's, I guess, how I would rate it. Um, so yeah, okay, not great, but a good time. All right, so thanks for watching my review and my reaction. Subscribe, and I'll do more movies. I'm thinking about going back to the older trauma movies. Uh, Watching Class of Nukem High. That was another series of the Trauma Entertainment Company. Uh, that they made. There was the Toxic Avenger series, but they also did like Class of Nukem High, like a lot of different ones of that. I think I don't even remember if I've seen those movies. I think I might start watching those, revisit those, just to see what they're about. I might subscribe to the Trauma streaming service. It's like $5 a month, so I can get all those movies for free. If I pay for the streaming service. Uh, so yeah, I might try that. But I don't know what the next film I'm going to review is. There's a lot of movies I want to see. Terrifier 3, Beetlejuice 2. I still have to watch those movies. Indiana Jones 5. I still haven't seen that yet. Uh, I've been putting off the disappointment after Indy 4. Uh, I was hesitant to even watch Indy 5, but I need to get around to watching it. So I think Indy 5 will probably be the next film I watch. So subscribe, and I'll get to that. All right. Thanks for watching.